Thank you. Yeah, I'm talking to you from my land. For those of you who've known me for the last couple of years, you know Puneet and I run away to Maldives whenever we get a chance. So once again, as usual, we are here, and I thought, why not do a lovely Insta Live from here? Because you know what, it's so much more energizing to be in a place that you absolutely connect to. For those of you who are nature lovers, understand that, you know, our entire I don't know what to say, the soul, I think, gets awakened. Especially now for me, I've been here for almost close to 5 days. 5 days of just being in the ocean, being in the water, being so close to beautiful nature. I don't know if you can, let me see if I can show you something. Yeah, so you can see there's the beautiful, gorgeous ocean right there. I haven't been able to get out of this pool. Of course, all of this nature. This is our lovely beach villa. I don't know how much of it you can see. Can you see me? Hello! In the reflection. That's my coffee tray. Awesome! Okay, it's slightly sunny, so oops. You can see I didn't bring my stand today, so I'm using my coffee flask as the stand. All right, let's get started. What do I want to speak to you about today? I didn't bring the cards, unfortunately, but I did bring a beautiful book that I want to speak about. For all of you who know, this is Maldives. The hotel is called St. Regis Warmly Resort. You can look it up. It's really nice. I mean, it's actually owned by a person in Chennai, so that's really lovely. Normally that doesn't happen. So all of the Indian food is available. Lots of Indian staff. You're in such a happy mood. Oh, I totally am. Yes. I get happy. When I'm in nature, I really get happy. Like, I need to be controlled. Okay, let's move into questions. Let me go slightly up. Oh, I introduced the book and then I left it. Okay, so the book of the week, you know, Ant and the Elephant we did last week, and last week we had done David Goggins. So this week it is The Psychology of Money. And I want to speak to you about this because there are a few concepts that I actually got from this book that changed my entire journey around money, and I'd love for you to learn those concepts. And one of those concepts that I absolutely believe in is called enough. Okay, just knowing what is your enough number, you know. And the way I work my enough number is, how much is it enough for me that while I'm working, this is how much I'd like to earn, and on the side, how I can build passive income of a certain amount that I know that if I have that coming in as passive income, then someday I can resign from my work. You may never choose to resign from your work, because especially if you love your work the way I love my work, as you can see, and I can do it from anywhere, I have that huge advantage. Why will I ever resign? But you know what? Whenever in life you don't have a choice, everything feels like a have to. So you want to be able to create choices in your life. If I could totally work without even thinking of money, I hope someday, I always say this, I don't know when it will happen, I hope someday I can give away all of my courses for free. That a day arrives where I just go, you know what, this is my legacy I leave to the world. Of course, at that point, there'll be all recordings and not lives, but still, whatever it will be, right or no? So that's the plan, and that's how I'd love for you to start to look at what's your enough number. You know, I remember when I started Life by Design in 2010, my intention was, if I can just free myself from not having to beg Puneet for money. So, you know, maybe ₹1 lakh a month seemed like a lot of money at that time. When I started earning 2 lakhs, it felt like, oh my God, I'm super duper rich. I used to tell Puneet, okay, I'll upgrade you to the suite. I'll pay for the upgrade at the aeroplane. I will, like a full show off, you know, especially when it's like in the beginning, it's so much fun having your own money. So I'm going to encourage every single one of you. 2023, you know, is the year of abundance. And I want you to have a beautiful relationship with money. Remember, money is an energy, and that is why it's the psychology of money that this book speaks about. Learning how to earn it, learning how to manage it. Yeah. Can you all still hear me, see me? Because something came up with my screen. Just tell me if you can hear me, see me. Just do. If you can hear me, see me. Hello, 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 everybody. Yes. Okay, perfect. So, Psychology of Money, I want all of you to get your hands on this book. It's beautiful because, you know what, learning to manage your money is as important as being able to earn it. Too many of us focus on earning the money. Most of us don't know how to manage it. I always say this, for the first couple of years of you earning, stay extremely frugal. Don't change your lifestyle. For some time, don't change your lifestyle till you have enough surplus in your bank account that you can start to use the interest of that money to change your lifestyle. So these are all concepts that, you know, if you land up joining my enlightenment program, I have a whole goddess Lakshmi where we speak about the details of how I'd like you to know your money, understand your money. But for now, this book is also simply fabulous. So just go catch your hands on it. Okay? All right. Okay, let's do this. Sweetie, language coach. Hi, Puja. What to do when the staff in your company starts to cheat you or doesn't get the sales to you? Sweetie, get rid of them as soon as you can. Staff is not the category of people where we have to work with their ethics and improve them. Either they have the ethics or they don't have ethics, and anybody who doesn't have basic ethics, do not please work with them, is my instant, you know. I normally will tell these people, you know what, I'll get you even a job if you want, but you cannot work with me because anyone I can't trust, I can't keep. It's as simple as that. Trust is the basis of every single relationship of my life. So if I can't trust you, there's no way. I don't want to be waking up every single morning wondering whether you've cheated me or not. That's not the thought I want to start my day with. Yeah. 8 Moonlight, unfortunately, I didn't bring the cards. I actually didn't know that my flight was so early in the morning tomorrow and that we had a layover in Colombo airport. So I had no idea that it's going to be. So I was pretty sure that I'll you know, reach back and I'll do it. So it all changed. So unfortunately, you know what I'll do? Tomorrow I'll go home, I'll shuffle the cards, take out a card and share it in my story just for all of you. Yeah? Rekli 4 is asking, which is the one thing that can ruin manifestation? Vibration, your energy. Okay? So if you are trying to manifest something, but you are in a negative zone in your emotions, manifestation won't come. It will stop at the gate. So one of the most important things for manifestation is emotional management. So you manage your emotions and keep on converting them into joy, keep on converting them into being positive, keep on looking at what, I was reading this lovely book yesterday called The New Earth, gifted to me by one of you. Thank you, Seema, for sending it and couriering it to me. And as I was reading it, one of the stories in that was, about this monk who was being accused of a lot of things, and he kept saying, is that so? Is that so? Is that so? He didn't define, he didn't explain, he didn't justify, and eventually that village which was accusing him of cheating of something came to know a year later or 6 months later that that wasn't even true. And then the kind of respect they had for him. But he just kept responding as, is that so? So later on when they asked him, how come you just kept saying, is that so? Is that so? He's saying, I don't want to fight anyone. I don't want to spoil my mood for anyone. I want to remain in my own energy. And whatever you think of me is not my problem. And while I found his example extremely extreme, I said, at least at some level, all of us can start to bring it into our life, no? Where we can also just start to go, you know what, you don't get to decide my mood. You don't get to decide because every single day things go wrong. The day we came here, we didn't get the room we wanted to be in on day one. We had to be in another room. Now I had two ways of looking at it. Either saying, oh man, or wow, I get to experience 2 rooms. Wow, that's fabulous. I also get the water villa. I also get the beach villa. That's amazing. Every single thing is perspective, true or not, every single thing, and so many such things. Let's say I left my hair iron at home. So what? I'm going to just enjoy this rowdy hair of mine that has been misbehaving the last 5 days in such a lovely manner that, I'm so used to all the time keeping my hair ironed and polished and this and that. I'm just loving the freedom of not having to do my hair. Every single thing is perspective. If you want to really become a queen in manifestation, my suggestion is just one: start to really look at everything and go, what's the silver lining in this? How can I look at this positively? How can I make sure this doesn't take me down? And I'm assuring you, you will naturally see miracles starting to happen in your life, because our energy starts to standardize at a level so high that everything just becomes like, you start to attract better, you start to attract better, you start to attract better. Mansi Jayakar, how to be an authentic self in your business and personal life. This word authentic is something that I've been studying for some time now, and one of the things I've started to feel in my life, I can actually see myself. I think there's a gap between me speaking and this thing. I can see myself speaking in the camera. Okay. That there are so many sides of us which are actually authentic. So my being Kali can be authentic. My being goddess Lakshmi can be authentic. My being a goddess of joy, goddess of compassion. I have every side to myself. So the most important question you're asking to yourself is, does this feel right to me? And if it feels right, that's your authentic self. It could be sometimes diametrically opposite. You could be supremely kind one day and you can be extremely harsh another day, and both of them can be you. So I think first understanding that authentic is a huge box, not a small box. You are not, when we say I am like this only, not true. Okay? Because I feel like we are so much more than the box we put ourselves in. Having said that, discovering what feels right. Every day ask yourself, does this feel right? And the more you can tap into what feels right for you, that's your authentic self. And how to be more of that? Just ask this question every single day. The beauty of our conscience is that the minute we go out of line, it starts to whisper. And if we listen to the whispers, we can get ourselves back on track. And if we don't, it starts to go away. So the more we can stay in touch with our conscience, the more authentic we will stay. The first time you do something wrong, it really feels wrong. By the 5th time, you've already convinced yourself that it's not that wrong. अरे सभी करते हैं. Everybody is cheating. Business तो ऐसे ही होता है. And we start to say sentences that will pacify us and make us feel okay. But you know what? It's not okay, because the whispers were there which you shut down. So I'm going to ask each one of you, just every day ask yourself, does this feel right to me? Will this let me sleep peacefully? If you're not able to return to your peace and there's a naggingness in your personality, if you're not being able to return to your peace, just know you've gone off track. You've lost your authenticity. You know, I feel like authentic people have their own alive energy. They're very awakened in their personality. There's a certain amount of energy and enthusiasm that they carry. You know why? Because they don't have any blockages. The more secretive we are, the heavier our energy. The more open we are, the lighter our energy. All of these are beautiful ways to check authenticity. I hope some of this helps you. The one thing I do want to also add to authenticity is a lot of people think that being honest is being authentic. I don't believe in that. And I'll tell you what I mean when I say this. Let's say somebody walks in and I don't like the color they're wearing. And I decide I'm an authentic person, I need to be real with them. No. When in authenticity, you have to choose between being honest and being kind, choose kind. Okay? Why do I say this? At no point do you have permission to make someone feel bad. So making someone feel bad is worse than, I'm not saying you have to compliment what you don't like. You can just keep quiet. Okay? So authenticity plus silence is true wisdom. Knowing when to be authentic and when to be silent needs wisdom. So tap into that wisdom, because please, I feel like some people project their honesty as authenticity. To me, that's not okay. Your kindness is your number one value, and after that, all other values follow. So if you can't be kind, do not, you've got the point, right? Millie is asking, Pooja, are you using a mic while doing an Insta live, or is this your natural voice? Are you also using a collar mic? No mics on me. I don't use mics. I want to start using mics to improve the audio of everything that I do. At some point it should happen, but for now, nothing. I have a loud voice, so generally I have a loud voice. Adib Mehrari, how do you distinguish between being disciplined and pushing yourself to achieve your goals and being kind to yourself and abounding a burnout? My God, Adib, that is such a beautiful question, because I juggle this problem every single morning. Okay, so this year I'm on full throttle. That means I'm launching everything, all the courses now that are left inside of me that I know I have and I want to give to the world. I'm going to launch them this year. So it's going to be a massive year, and I'm already working really hard, and now I'm adding more hard work to that. So I totally understand where you're coming from. So for me, what I started to do is I take it one day at a time. The question I ask myself every day is, what can I do today to balance out the hard work, right? So there are few activities that I have brought into my life that I'm going to share with you. One of them is, in the morning every day, I write out what do I have to do today. For example, let's say today I have to do the Insta Live. I have a class today from 3 to 5 in the evening, starting my enlightenment program today. So I have to do that. And so there are things that I have to do, right? And so I then like to rewrite them as I choose to or I get to. I get to do this. I'm so lucky that I can sit in Maldives and start a class with 226 ladies coming today in the evening. How fabulous is that? Now there's a part of me that's like, I don't want to work on a holiday. But there's a part of me that's super excited. So when I write out that whole paragraph, I choose to. I'm so lucky. God is so kind. I'm able to do this. I can work from anywhere in the world. I shift my energy from the dragging energy of burnout to this excitement energy. And you know what? Every single day you can do this for yourself. And that's the beauty. You can do this for yourself. So this is one of the things I do, that, I go from I have to I choose to. Another thing I do is, what are the things I can do to balance out the joy? So what will it give me excitement? So today I know is a full day at work. I have a few things that I have to prepare, some presentations for this coming weekend, the following weekend. A lot of work is there. So I'm carrying all of this work to Maldives. And then, what Puneet does with me is 9 to 11:30 every morning we've been working really hard. And then 11:30 the beers come out. So for those of you who don't drink, do not get encouraged by me at all. But something on holiday that I love to do with Puneet is have a bottle or a glass of beer. And And so that becomes our way of really earning and deserving this holiday. So we've kind of like built that in. So it's all about mindset, as you can see. And at any point, if you've not started to divide your life into rest and work, then I'm going to highly recommend. I have 3 ways I divide my day, which I've spoken about in many of my lives. I'm just going to mention it quickly again. I have prep time, which is I wake up at about 4 to 4:30, and until 8 o'clock I prep myself up. That's my solid morning routine. That's what energizes me through the day. Then I have my 10 to 5, which is my delivery time. This is when I show up for people and I really just help the world. And then I have 5 o'clock onwards, 5 to 6, I just waste time. Either I Instagram scroll or I watch some Pakistani play. It's just me binging to just relax my mind. It's like anything that where I can waste. Like it's like the transition between work and rest, right? And then evenings is for family. So anything after 6 o'clock, I try to leave my phone away, and then I'm either with Puneet. If the kids are down, then with the kids. Anything to rest, relax, make life easy. So that's my downtime. You can do this over a week, you can do it over a day. So you can have rest days, like for example, Saturday, Sundays turn into rest days. Monday to Thursday, you can work really hard. 2 days out of the week can be prep, 3 days can be delivery. So you can divide your week like that, your month like that, your day like that. But it's very, very helpful when you have rest built into your productivity. One of the things I always say with money and time, if money you don't have budgets, you'll always feel you're spending more. So have a budget or you're spending less. So have a budget so that you know what, this is how much I want to spend on this. Then every rupee going out of your pocket doesn't pinch, because you've already pre-decided you want to spend this to, let's say if I want to renovate this room and it's going to cost me ₹1,00,000, then if I've spent 70,000, I still have a 30,000 to spend on that room. Otherwise, we tend to get scarcity mindset and become little conjuice, while we could have done a much better of the job of the room. Same way with time, I'm going to say that if you don't have rest built in, then anytime you are resting, you will feel guilty towards your work. I don't want that to happen. I want each one of you here to start to go, you know what? I had said 2 hours. Now I've done my 2 hours. Now I'm done for the day. Now tomorrow. Start living life like a marathon rather than a sprint. Too many of us are sprinting, and that's why we're getting exhausted and burnt out. And every time I get burnt out, which I do, by the way, I just take a holiday. So I had massive deliveries in December. For those of you, you've come for Coaching Mastery, you've come for Awakening, you've come for closing of all of the programs, the events, everything was happening in December. I needed this. So Maldives and Bhutan were planned much before, because I was like, Puneet, I have a 20-day window where I need to travel, because after which again all my programs will start. So like that, Adeeb, I really hope this was helpful. It's something that's coming from my heart, because I feel you, because I can tell you, I juggle with this every day. I'm answering it like one very, like I've got it all sorted. Trust me, I have days when I just wake up and I go, do I really want to? And you know what? Those are great questions to ask, because some days it gives me a lot of insight into who I'm becoming as a person, to be able to show up for the world to that level. Shrimukh, hi Puja auntie, you say that success comes from obsession and not balance. We need to return to balance, but Rajiv sir says that we need to live the and life and not the or life. Which of this is true? I love that, okay? I think there are phases, okay? So it depends on which phase of life you are in. The and life is also very, very important, and the obsession life is also very, very important. If you ask Rajiv himself, from 2016 to 2018, what he was doing. I remember at one point he was doing 18 paces. I can assure you neither his health was in balance nor his life was in balance at that point, because he was setting himself up. But you know what? The luxury of success is that you can bring balance back at any point. So I definitely don't want you to live out of balance, but for some time there is this crucial period in each one's life where we know what we are building is going to last us a lifetime. That we will be able to look back at that period and say, those 3 years, those 2 years, those 700 days, they were the days that built me up to become the person I've become. I can tell you, for me, I've had them in patches. Today, I would say that life is quite balanced. I do my holidays, I do my family, I have a social life. I'm quite much in balance. But you know what? I know the kind of obsession I've had when I was creating all of these courses that I do deliver now. I can assure you there was no balance. I used to wake up with just one mindset, which was of creation. So I would say Rajiv is absolutely correct from the angle that he's coming from, the context that he's coming from. I feel like I'm absolutely correct in the context of what I am saying. So you'll have to just see at which stage of life are you for you to be able to apply the right advice for the right context, okay? Oh, thank you, Rumini, saying your spirit is everything, Puja. Thank you for sharing this with us. That is too sweet. Who is the author of the book? It's called Morgan Housel, and he's right now in the bestsellers in all the bookstores. So if you just go and look at the top 10 books, it's one of them. Krishna Venik. Hey, what happened to the light in my... yeah, okay. Krishna Venik. Puja, what to do if hubby ignores you to the core and does not respect you, love you or consider you no matter, and doing everything for him and his parents? Can I tell you something? The more we do, the more for granted we get taken. From today onwards in 2023, I want you to start to build you. You know, I can tell you right in the beginning, I'm married into a joint family of almost 13 people. Right in the beginning, one of the emotions I used to have is maybe if I just do more, I'll get more appreciation, I'll get more love. But that's not how life works. Life actually works. The more you value you, the more people value you. The more you value your time, the more people value your time. Unfortunately, one of the things we do as women is initially when a man proposes to us, we are damn challenging. You know, we say no 5 times, we let him really, suffer it out. We want to know he truly values us, only then we'll say yes. And the minute we say yes, we become doormats. Now we decide that everything of mine is his to own. That's how women operate, that's how we love. You know what? It's great to love in that manner when you also have a lot of self-respect for yourself. Like, I love Puneet like anything, but I love me as much. And he knows that. So love your partner, love his family, do for them, but don't forget you in the process, because if you forget you, everyone will forget you. If you didn't learn to prioritize yourself, no one will. And the more value you will build in yourself, darling, the more people will value you. Today, Puneet values me because the world values me. And can I tell you something really true, but not the best thing to say? The woman can directly respect her man, but the man needs to see respect in the world for him to respect his woman. When his woman gets respected in the world, that's when he respects her. So my suggestion to you, start to build who you are. And one of the best ways these days for a woman to build herself is for her to become a coach. You know, I run this whole program called Coaching Mastery. It's not because I want to create more coaches. It is, you know what, the subliminal message behind why I want every woman to become a coach is because this industry gives you so much admiration, so much respect, that what kind of person you start to show up in your house as changes completely. I always say, forget, even if you never decide to do coaching, just become a coach for you to be able to understand how to deal with your children, how to deal with your husband. You know, when I got married, for the first 10 years, I was so extremely immature. For the smallest of things, I used to create the largest of dramas, and I did not know how I was harming me, him, and the whole relationship. And when I became a coach and I started to get my core concepts right, everything changed for me. I'm not here to sell you anything, my dear sweethearts. I just want you to know that it's definitely an angle I'd like you to consider, because my life changed because of it, so I can only give you what I have. True? So Krishna Veni, if you've not considered coaching, Aja Meri Jaan, let me show you what getting respect at home looks like. Let's learn with Wrinkle. You always talk about creating a fountain of water around to reach us the negativity, but is it practically possible when we live in such a toxic environment with toxic people? Wrinkle, it's definitely possible. It is just harder. So when you live in toxic, so, you know, have you heard this sentence that everyone should meditate for 20 minutes and those people who are too busy should meditate for 2 hours? Can you see how it's a contradiction? I'm going to say the same thing to you. everyone should learn water fountain and stay away from toxic people and learn to deal with them and have a conversation in your head whenever you're around toxic people on how you're going to deal with them. But if you're actually surrounded by them in your house, you need to master this art 100 times more than everyone else. True or not? So I'm going to ask you, what is it that you do for yourself to protect yourself from these people? You have to take the remote control back. You have to start to take 100% responsibility of your life. You need to start to go hurt people. And when they say something, it should belong to them because they are hurting and they shouldn't pass it on to you. Because if you start hurting, guess what? You will start to bleed on people that didn't cut you. True or not? Start to say sentences like, if they knew better, they would do better. Everyone is doing the best with the understanding that they have. I've had to literally, not my monkey, not my circus. You can see how much conversation I have in my head when I'm surrounded by people that I know I cannot manage or control, but I need to protect myself, because you know what? If their negativity gets to me, instead of focusing on my vision, my future, my amazing life, I'm going to get completely drained into, but why did she say that? But why did he misunderstand me? But how could he label me greedy? But how could he have called me childish? But how he could have, and you know what? My entire energy will become of wanting to explain and justify to them and somehow get a closure to the hurt and pain that my heart will carry. So I'm going to ask each one of you here, come up with your own methodology, whether you use the water fountain or any other methodology. We have Sedona method you can look up. You can look up Hoponopo, Hopono. Okay, you all know the pronunciation, so you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, just Google it. It's a Hawaiian way of forgiveness. Again, very beautiful for using on toxic people. Can totally disconnect you from their energy. But you've got to learn this. You know what? If you wanna become a queen manifester, as when I began to start this session today, I spoke about how it's so important to keep our vibrations up. And if you're surrounded by people, and all of us have those one or two disguised angels in our life whose job is to trigger us every day till we become so solid and strong that our only focus becomes our future and we stop participating in the drama that they create in our life every day. And for every single one of you, that's what I want, okay? For everyone who's complimenting my earrings, thank you so much. Even I love them. They're so beachy now. Sejal Bhatia. My husband relatives come to stay and then my hubby sleeps out with them. And when I fought, he says, adjust karo. They come once in a while, according to him, but it's every 2 months. Sejal, whenever in life we fight with our spouse on something that gives them happiness, and we expect that they should cut their happiness for our happiness, it will never work out. Okay, so I want you to come up with a plan where you start to go, I love it that you sleep outside with them. I love it that you have such a good time. But you know what? When they leave, you need to take me for a 2-day holiday, because then I just miss you so much. I need you. Okay, ask for compensations. One of the biggest lessons I have learned in my marriage is to never speak against the things that give joy to my spouse. So if I speak against golf, if I speak against his friends, if I speak against his gym, you know what I'm doing? I'm saying your being unhappy doesn't matter to me, but my happiness is far more important. So if you don't look after my happiness, you know what? It's the wrong messaging completely, my sweetheart. You've got to change this whole story into how you can support him. So when I support his gym, I support his golf, I support his friendships, I support his happinesses. Guess what he has within? Happiness. Then guess what he's going to give me? Happiness. I can't take away something and then think, why is he not giving it to me? Because he doesn't have then. Correct? So when your husband's relatives come, instead of competing with them, whether he's going to give them time or you time, I want you and him to become one. I want you also to go out and sleep with them. I want you also to participate fully. I can tell you now, when Puneet's relatives come home, I am more excited about his buas, his relatives, his cousins than he is himself. I absolutely adore them. You know why? Because I know this is important to him. What matters to him? Why should I make myself the enemy of what is important to him? And a lot of times we do that. So as a rule, I will not speak against the people that are important to him, because one thing also I've learned is, in hurting him about the people that he loves, he will return me the favor. So at some point, if I speak against his family, he's going to speak against mine. And then when it'll hurt me, I'll hurt him. And we will keep hurting each other. Somebody has to break that cycle, isn't it? Now, again, these are easy things to say. They take a lot of practice. They take a lot of evolving. If you haven't attended my Awakening program, Sejal Bharti, I'm going to totally request you to do that, because you know what? It's one of those programs where the goddess within you, once she's awakened, she realizes that I cannot take anything from anyone until I have nurtured them enough. And giving is the first form of wanting to receive. So it'll really put you back into balance, my Jaan. But great question. This will help a lot of people, sweetheart. Subhash Revati, ma'am, I've started doing affirmations this year but feels very artificial. Is this feeling okay? Absolutely. For anybody here who's starting to do affirmations, in the beginning, nothing feels real. Yesterday, I did a anti-gravity yoga class. And I can tell you, in the first 10 minutes, I felt like I'm not going to be able to achieve this class. I'm not going to be able to do it. It was so hard. But it kept getting easier and easier and easier. And by the end, all of us in the room did the shoulder stand on top of that, whatever that thing was. And you know, it was so beautiful. And to be able to have managed that, the first 10 minutes so hard, the balance 40 minutes so fun. I'm going to say the same to you. When you start out affirmations, they just don't feel real because you don't believe what you are saying. But you say it long enough, even a lie becomes a truth. Do you know that? Like if you just lie long enough, your mind will not be able to decipher whether what is lies, what is truth. It will just become your truth. So I'm just going to tell you, do the affirmations with as much role play as you can. When you were young, did you ever play Ghar Ghar? It didn't matter whether you were the Bai or not. It didn't matter whether you were doctor or not. It didn't matter. You just pretended. Like same I want to do with affirmations. As you read your affirmations, just pretend play. Just pretend play that role that you truly have become successful. The whole world is cheering about you. You are on the cover of the Forbes magazine. You are being spoken about in the world, and people are admiring and appreciating you, and your family surrounding you and loving you for who you are becoming. And your new size is so much fun, and your clothes and your jewelry and your bags and your shoes, you're loving it, and your everything. Just work with that whole energy. And in the beginning, it may feel fake, my Jaan, but over time, you will see it'll just start to feel more and more real. And a day will come where it'll feel so real that you won't even feel the need for it to happen in real, because it feels so real, and that's the day it'll happen. So that's what you're working towards. So if it feels artificial right now, totally okay. Yeah, don't worry about that. Okay, I'm going to go right to the bottom so that I can take all the latest questions of the people who've just come in. My light keeps going away. 1 second. Love Thyself 05. How to overcome being too conscious as a coach, like vocabulary, how to overcome. Love Thyself 05. It's crazy today. I think I'm being asked the questions that I struggle with maximum. So love you for that. You know what? I've not had the best of English. There are words I forget. There are words I don't know how to use. I won't say my English is bad, but it's definitely not the best. Over the years, in this context, it's become much better because I read a lot. And because I read a lot, it's becoming better and better. But one of the things I tell in my heart, always, see, I tell in my heart itself, firstly, is not a correct English, but okay, I say to myself is that what is more important, me serving you or me appearing right? Am I here to impress you or am I here to help you? And there's a difference. If I'm here to impress you, then my English should be good, my looks should be good, my hair should be done. It's all about impressing, right? But you know what? There's a time that will come, especially as a coach, where you will move from the desire to impress to desire to help. And when your desire is to help, you know what the beauty is? You can be a chai wala and you can be the Prime Minister. Correct or no? Like you can literally, then nothing matters. Nothing matters. Whether I'm wearing these earrings or I'm not wearing these earrings. Whether I am looking good or I'm not looking good. Whether I have the filter on or I have the filter off. I do all of this to enhance, but I can work without all of this and yet feel totally me. And I'm going to ask each one of you, especially coaches in the room, start to work with the desire to put the spotlight on your client. If you are the most important person in your interaction with your client, then you're not doing a great job, my darling. So whether it's your vocabulary, or it is your ability to answer, or it is your competency, or it is your care, or it is your courage, or it is your consistency, all of that can be improved. Just come from a place of a loving heart. Every single day, grow your heart. Grow your heart to the point where loving people just becomes a way of life. And I can tell you, the way you'll get paid as a coach then, people will say uska vocabulary notice bhi nahi hoega. You know, Sachin Tendulkar failed in 10th grade or something. Does it matter today? It has become irrelevant. Imagine if Sachin said, I'll only become a good cricketer the day I get 90% in my 12th grade. No. He can be a massively amazing cricketer and never, I'm going to say the same thing to you. How your vocabulary is till the time you are able to explain the concepts. Know your concepts, be able to explain them. How your English is, world is very forgiving. When I make a mistake, I ask in the room itself half the time, guys, because जरा उसका English word बता दो या फिर ये इसकी pronunciation correct है कि नहीं है. And people are so sweet, you know. Don't try to be the most smartest person in the room, because there's always be someone smarter in the room in some other topic. Maybe in your topic you're the smartest person in the room, but in some other topic somebody else may be smarter. And you know what? When we co-create programs, it's so much better than just coming from the top as a teacher. Yeah? So see if you can let go. I'm not saying don't work on your vocabulary. I'm just saying the bigger focus is to serve. Pallavi Mehta, why people can't forgive small things? Oops, kahan gaya? And the relationship be the same even after apologizing for 100 times for things which was not even so big. It is hurting me as I want things to be normal. Pallavi, we cannot control the level of forgiveness in someone else. Okay? For every single person has a different category. The more evolved you are, the more you have the ability to forgive. Okay? The lesser evolved a human being, the lesser they will hold on. So if you are someone who's holding on, the only thing you have to know is you've hurt someone who's not evolved enough to carry your energy. It doesn't matter how many times you say sorry, they don't have the power, the personality to be able to let go. It's not that they don't want to. They're just so scared. They're so insecure. They're so scared that, you know what, if they let go, what if you do it again? And that fear is keeping them from experiencing love in the world. Because there's nobody in this world who will have a person in their life who will never make a mistake. So people who haven't learned forgiveness suffer far more than people who are willing to apologize 100 times. So you are way more evolved than that person. You know what? My suggestion, you've already tried hard enough. It's time to let go. It's time for you to now say, you know what? I tried. You were not able to receive me. Now I'm not going to waste any more of my love, care, compassion on you. I'm going to move on to find the right person. So while you can keep them in your energy if you like, you can continue to keep blessing them. But I would suggest shift focus. You know, I had a really close friend at one point who just didn't forgive me for something that I had done. Again, it was such a small thing. And she wouldn't just forgive me, and she wouldn't say forgive me, and I kept asking her because I felt like I'm the coach. I should be able to ask for forgiveness the right way or whatever. For 2 years, I allowed her to torture me, after which I was like, you know what, I'm done. Just out of self-dignity, self-respect, I feel like, you know what, to the extent that you deserved an apology, I have given you 100 times more. Now, you know what, I'm going to look for someone who values me. And I'm going to say the same to you, Pallavi, do that. Devika wins. Question: what is the Brahma Muhurtam concept in your house? Devika, Brahma Muhurtam, according to me, I'm not very 100% clear of it, but I know it is the time when the world is starting to wake up, right? So it comes somewhere in the morning between, I think, 4:30 to 6. I think it's just before sunrise. I think they say it's at 3:33 or 3:35 or 3:45, something like that is where there's a timing where your creative juices are your best at its highest. So it's when the creative gods are awake, but still the world is not awake. And my concept of Brahma Muhurtam is actually very simple. I believe just the way if 100 people are using the same internet, the internet becomes weak. The same way, once everybody has woken up, God has to attend to so many more people, correct? So there is a time where the world is sleeping, so there is a certain amount of silence. And because of that level of silence that happens in that Muhurtam time, your ability to channelize and connect with the divine is way deeper. So imagine if your child was running on an empty road, will you be able to spot him easily? Now put 1,000 people on that road. Suddenly you lose him every now and then, right? So the same happens with me as far as my thought process around Brahma Muhurtam is. And you know what? There's a lot of study. You can just Google it for you to know your version or the right version. But my version is just this, that in that silence, there's a lot of power. And in that silence, God is able to hear everything we speak, because you have woken up at a time where the waves in our brain are still alpha, theta. We haven't yet gone back into the full energy. And so we are deeply and divinely connected. So that's how I look at it. Not sure what the real Brahma Muhurtam version is. Yeah. Snehal Kalra, one of my mentors say, don't dream so big, dream realistic and dream which you are able to achieve. Snehal, full respect to your mentor for saying that, but I would have a different view for the simple reason, imagine if the Wright brothers decided to be realistic in their thinking. We wouldn't have had aeroplanes today, true? Imagine if the whole world was realistic in their dreaming. I don't know what could have gotten created. Imagine when the first time someone said, let's go to the moon. Must be so unrealistic when someone saw the Mount Everest and said, let's climb it. How unrealistic was that? Imagine if someone said, you will be able to sit in Delhi, I'll be able to sit in Chennai, and you'll be able to hear my voice. What? How is that even possible? Correct? So for me, I'm a big believer of, I remember there was this story I'd heard where a teacher had asked a question, what do you want to become in life? And one of the students had written that I just want to be happy. And the teacher gave that child F for that particular essay. And the child, when she called the child and said, rewrite this essay, I think you didn't understand what I've asked you. He said, ma'am, you keep the F. I think you haven't understood life. And I just loved that version of that story, because I just feel like, you know what? We have to choose our own dreams and no one can decide that for us. What I will add to this is, though, dream big, learn to start small. Sometimes what happens is, because our dreams are so big, when we have to start small, now we are not able to connect with it because we are thinking of this massive dream. So dream big, but learning to start small is a huge a quality that we all need to have, because in the beginning it'll all just feel very, very, there's always a gap. I don't know if you watch this video, I'm going to ask all of you to watch it. It's by Ira Glass, called The Gap. That in the beginning, anything we do know, we will remain slightly dissatisfied with our own competency because we haven't done it enough. Practice, 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 and you'll reach a place where suddenly you will go into what we call the magical zone. When we put in enough hard work, a day comes where everything just starts to look and feel easy. Remember, for anybody who makes anything look effortless, there's a lot of effort that's gone behind it. One of the questions I get often asked is, Puja, how do you just sit there and randomly keep answering questions after questions after questions without even pausing? I say, because for so many years I have done it in my coaching. Remember, I started in 2010. From 2010 to 2016, nobody even knew who Puja was. Puja has only sat in her office and done from 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, then come back, had lunch, then gone back 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 6, 7 clients per day, per day, per day, per day. You do this for 5, 7 years, you've got 10,000 hours under your belt. You've done something for 10,000 hours, you are going to become really good at it. So there's no miracle that I sit and do this. It is just that, when you put in this kind of practice, this kind of hours, anything, you'll become a champion. So I'm just going to tell you this, that you know what, just start putting in the hours. A day will come where that unrealistic dream will look so possible. You know, I was speaking to you about the psychology of money. And yesterday only, one of the things Puneet and I was discussing was the number I had when I started this journey and the numbers I earn today. How much of a difference there is. Like that, the number that used to feel big to me then, today is one day's earning for me. What I wanted to earn in a year, I know how to earn in a month today. It's crazy. Imagine if I had realistic dreams. I'm so glad that somewhere, someone along the way has pushed me into having a dream beyond my dreams. So I'm just going to say to every single one of you here, don't be scared. If the dream is choosing you, you are capable of delivering it. If the dream is choosing you, if a dream is coming to you, that person who's hearing the dream is not capable of delivering it. So for them, it is unrealistic. But to you, it's not, my sweetheart. Ruchi Naveen, ma'am, I started gratitude, but things I started showing gratitude starts stopping. What's wrong with my energy? Ruchi, if you make that connection, that will become your truth, okay? So one of the things I'd love for you to do for some time is, I want you to start to do future gratitude, okay? So for some time, stop doing gratitude, just start to do future gratitude. What is future gratitude? Anything that you'd like to happen in your life, write it in present tense. So I am grateful for buying these new glasses. I am super grateful to God for going on this amazing holiday to Maldives. It's not something that's already happened. It is something that you want happening, but you're writing it in present tense, okay? That's called future gratitude. Make a new connection with gratitude, then come back to redo this kind of gratitude, because right now what's happened is you have wired and fired a wrong wire. So what your wire what has happened in your wire is there's a cross connection or a wrong connection that has gotten made. And remember, whatever we believe in, we start finding evidence. So if you are writing out 5 things and even one stops because you wrote it, you've already made that connection. So it's a wrong connection which I need to break before I put you back into gratitude. So stop doing gratitude for some time. Just start to do future gratitude. When you start to do future gratitude, the new connection I want you to make is, anything I write comes true. So write things that you know that are going to come true, but write them. Okay, so you know tomorrow you're going to meet your sister. I want you to write, I'm so grateful to God for having such a fabulous day with my sister at the club. Write it out. You know it's going to happen, but you know what you're going to happen? It's going to make a connection, and this new connection, then you come back to do your old gratitudes, okay? Loveleen Bali, every time I join your live, I learn a lot. I love your charisma, energy and jovial nature. Thank you, Loveleen. Anamika Chetan, so sweet of you, Puja ma'am, you're truly an angel. Oh, so sweet. Anita Gupta, how to manage our focus in the middle of so much hustle bustle of life. So currently my husband, just the way I'm carrying this book, The Psychology of Money, he's carrying a book called Deep Work. Anita, I'd love to get your hands on a book called Deep Work. Let me see if I can also share it in my stories today. It's a beautiful book for you to start to realize the power of focus, the power of concentration, and all of that. It is, you know, the world that we live in right now, concentration is just, what do you call it, dissolving, dissipating. We are not giving enough importance. You know, every time we are sitting on Instagram and scrolling, we are reducing our ability to focus, reducing our ability to concentrate. So learning to develop at least what we call the Pomodoro technique, which is 45 minutes of undivided attention. You know, earlier on, remember that there was a time, especially before COVID, where the whole concept of open offices started to happen. You know, everything was open. The director you could reach out to, people could walk around and talk to each other whenever they like. Today, the new concept of offices is that they have what they call the deep work rooms, which means what? If you don't want to be distracted because you are doing something that is really taking up your intellectual energy, you want to go and shut yourself off with a do not disturb sign, and you want to be able to really concentrate and do that work. For me, I have a Brahmasthanam in my house, which is like the center courtyard that is open to the whole house. It goes till the chat. And for me, I just start to walk around that, and for me, I create that vortex. And Puneet knows that if Puja is walking around that, that means she's in deep thought. Not to disturb her. Nobody will disturb me when I'm doing that walk, because at that point I'll be literally downloading things from God. So I want you to create routines and rituals where you awaken your genius, and then you make those times as your focus times. Those are the good times to put classical music. There's a whole study now that shows that classical music gives you the energy. Brian Tracy speaks about this very beautifully, that he's written over, I don't know, 100 books maybe. And in writing those 100 books, he says one of the things he used is for your brain to not get tired when it's doing deep work, you want some kind of music playing. The second thing, you want zero distraction. You want to inform everybody not to disturb you for a period of time. Tell them you will yourself come out of the room every 45 minutes to take a 15-minute break. That's the time they can approach you for anything, unless it's an emergency like fire in the house or anything like that. Start to build this back into your life in a world like you've written, where it is so much hustle bustle. Starting to learn to remove ourselves. One of our biggest problems is the fear of missing out. FOMO is so strong in the world right now that we want to be everywhere. While the truth is, if you truly are a creative genius, and Anita, I know you, so I know that you are fabulous at what you do already. I want you to know what has brought you here is your ability to have been able to focus. Just continue that, because sometimes one of the things success does is we start to take our own success for granted, and the things we did to get here, we stop doing. So make sure that is not something that happens to you. So all the very best, my Jan. Wow, we're already at 10:55. Time just flew today, hai na? Or I'm just in that mode today. Can just speak. Actually, you know what? When you've had 15 days of no interaction and no work, this is what happens. You get over energized. Alright, I can see there's so many questions. Now, so many of you wrote to us last week about being contacted by our coaches. So if your question didn't get answered today, unfortunately, one of the things that is impossible to do is answer everybody's questions. You can see how many people are in this room. It's not possible. Maximum I can answer is 5 questions, 10 questions. But look at the number in the room, right? So if you still want help and you feel like one of my amazing coaches can help you, all you need to do is DM me FCC, free clarity call with one of my coaches. Trust me, it's going to be free, so don't worry at all. And they will guide you with whatever your issue is. One is better than the other. We will give you the right coach once we know what your problem is. We have experts now in the house, and you know what? You deserve the answer to your question. And I feel so bad when I'm not able to answer an important question, something that you waited, that you typed 15 times, and yet I was not able to reach it. I feel terrible about that. So if you are interested in getting help, all you need to do is just DM your phone number and FCC so that we can reach out to you. Yeah? Love thyself is, hey gorgeous, what is Puneet sir doing while you are chatting with your tribe on a holiday? Let's check what he's doing. I don't know if he's in the room or he's gone off to the gym. Let me see. Can you just wave at everybody if you're still in the room? Yay! That's my room, by the way, guys. It's got a lovely ceiling. All right. Oops. Let me change it back to me. Okay, on that note, very quickly, for those of you who want to do the challenge and you get a Zoom call with me, which we call Date with Puja, all you need to do is quickly take a picture. I'm going to pose for you, and then all you have to do is put today's takeaway and share it in your stories and tag me. What are the 5 things you're going to do? Take a picture, put the takeaway, share it in your stories and tag me. Sorry, 4 things. So 4 things you need to do, and let's take a picture now with the cup. I should do it with the sea at the back, है ना? Wait, can you see the sea? आ रहा है समुंदर? Okay, yes. Let's do this version. At whichever point, just catch it. Let's see which angle you get. Different ones of you will get different angles. Clearly, I'm having fun. Did it pause? Am I still there? I'm in Maldives. The hotel is called St. Regis Wormley. And here I am. In the cold water. Super having fun. What is a takeaway? Takeaway is anything that you learned from today's session. Anything that you felt like was your light bulb moment, or something that you learned that you feel you'll be able to use in your life and make your life better. That's a takeaway. Yeah? Alright. Under this video, we will be sharing all of the winners. Because it's too much of light, I won't be able to read the names today. But you know who you are, all of you who did the takeaways last week. So we'll share it under this video. So if you are a winner, just go and check your name, okay? And if you are interested in getting a free clarity call from my coaches, don't forget to DM me your number, direct message your number with FCC so that I know that's what you're looking for. Yeah? So we have to put it in the story, the takeaway. Yes, you have to take a picture. On top of that, you put a takeaway and then tag me Puja_Puneet, and then I'll share it in my story, and that's how you become a winner for my Zoom call, which is called Date with Puja, right? So for anybody who doesn't know how to do this, within the first 10 minutes of me closing this, you will see 5 such takeaways already shared on my story. Just go look at that and then you can create your own, okay? People are so innovative. Some people use 5 different pictures. Some you people put away, instead of 1 or 2 takeaways, they'll put 10 takeaways. Some people will put beautiful music. Some people put lovely GIFs. So whatever works for you, yeah? Let me announce the winners for sure of the book. 1 second, let me do that. Clearly, I'm in no mood to go, as you can see. So, winners for this week who have won the book are Kavita Vikas, Ira Cosmetics Hyderabad, and Ramesh Puja 2911. So winners of the week are these 3, and we have 40 participants who will get Date with Destiny. I'm saying Date with Puja at some point in March. Okay, so just keep collecting. So once you have 6 under your belt, you know that you are then eligible. Yeah. Oh, nice. 111. On that note, bye everybody.